I'm Sarah. This year, I finally entered my 60s, but I'm still full of energy. I've been with my husband for about 25 years now, and we still live happily together. Our son, John, has turned 34. 2 years ago, he married Emma, who is 12 years younger than him, and now they live out of state. Somewhere in Nebraska. It seems Emma's parents' house is just a 5-minute walk away. And since Emma isn't great at cooking, her mother, Sophia, has been taking care of their meals daily. When I first heard about this, I was a bit irked, but John seems content with his life. And it seems Emma's parents are happy to be relied upon. Since getting married, John rarely comes home, which makes me feel a bit lonely. But I'm also proud to think of how my once unreliable son is now working hard for his family. However, an unexpected event suddenly changed everything. After a long illness, my father passed away, and I inherited his land. It was quite a large piece of land, so while discussing with my husband what to do with it, we received an unbelievable suggestion from Emma after she heard about the land. Please let us build a duplex on the inherited land for me and my parents to live in. My husband and I were speechless at this sudden request. Indeed, they had mentioned wanting to build a single-family home when they visited us last New Year's. And we had even considered helping them out a bit, thinking they might have kids soon. But it was quite a shock to be asked for the land we had just inherited. And Emma's audacious requests didn't stop there. Please help us with $60,000 for the down payment to build the duplex. As if it was our obligation to help, Emma asked without a hint of remorse. My irritation only grew with her attitude. Next to her, John just grinned foolishly, as if he was a stranger to all this. Since we can live closer now, please consider it, he said. Currently, it takes an hour and a half by car to visit John's apartment. While living 10 minutes away by car would be nice, living with him as parents is a different story. It wouldn't be easy to visit without feeling awkward. And it's clear we'd feel obliged to be considerate. Yet, Emma acts as if we should be grateful to them for this arrangement. Unable to agree right away, we asked for some time to think about building the duplex on the inherited land and providing the $60,000 assistance. Perhaps unhappy with our response, Emma brought her parents, Sophia and Charlie, to our house the next weekend. Right off the bat, Sophia said, "Ever since my daughter married your son, I've been the one preparing meals for him. How can you hesitate to give us the land or the assistance after all we've done for you?" It was quite presumptuous, considering we never asked for their help. And as for Charlie, he said, "You never know what might happen in the future. Having a duplex can be reassuring, and we can help with the kids. What's there to be dissatisfied about? Sure, it's all benefits for them, no land cost, and if we pay the down payment, their mortgage will be easier. They can rush over if anything happens. And they get to see their grandkids every day." Their idea of making us pay while they do as they please was something we just couldn't understand. "Anyway, we're building the house, so we count on your cooperation," Emma said, and left. My husband and I were at a loss for words after the audacious behavior of Emma and her parents. Then the calls started coming in, constantly reminding us about the financial help. My husband, finding their brazenness too much, hinted to John that we wouldn't give the land or the assistance. But then John said, "I'm worried about you guys too, and I can't live close unless we do this. Please just go along with what Emma and her parents say, consider my position a little." John was completely under Emma's spell, body and soul. In the end, our opinions were disregarded, and they even started looking for a custom home builder. A shoe closet and a walk-in closet were a must. A spacious living room with a high ceiling, and a multifunctional kitchen packed with Sophia's demands. There was even an office for Charlie, and they went as far as planning a rooftop. The blueprint for this outrageous duplex was handed to us, and I felt dizzy. This is our dream home, so please hand over the land soon, and help us financially. My husband and I exchanged looks, astonished by Emma's lack of reservation. We could have firmly refused then and there. But then John, to our utter surprise, made a threat we never saw coming. "If you keep stalling, I'll cut ties with you. Stop dragging this out and get it done." John, only listening to his wife and her parents, was no longer on our side. Feeling the immense distance between us and our son, I was overwhelmed with a sense of emptiness greater than when he left the nest. Because of this, we decided to go ahead with the financial help. Of course, Emma was the happiest about this. "First, transfer $10,000 to the construction company. We'll handle the remaining $50,000 in cash." I withdrew the total $60,000 from our account as told. Emma, who hardly ever visited us, came over with a gleeful expression this time to collect the $50,000 in cash. In exchange for the money, she handed me various documents related to the duplex. "Take these to the construction company. Make sure you transfer the money." "All right," she said rapidly and left quickly. Later, I found some issues in the documents and went directly to John's apartment, but he wasn't there. I also went to Emma's parents' house, but they weren't home either. That's when a neighbor told me that John, Emma, and her parents had gone on a 7-night, 9-day trip to Europe. "Got some unexpected money. We're going shopping for souvenirs," Sophia had happily said before they left. Most likely, that unexpected money was the $50,000 I had given Emma in cash. Thinking they asked for it for a down payment on the house but used most of it on a lavish trip made me feel utterly disheartened. When I shared this with my husband, he too couldn't hide his shock. Feeling disregarded even by our son, John, we didn't know how to fill the gaping void in our hearts. But we couldn't stand being taken advantage of any longer, and decided to take a stand. It seemed my husband felt the same, and we promptly went to the construction company to cancel the construction of the duplex. There, at the construction company, we ran into someone casually chatting with my husband. It was Michael, an executive at the construction company, and an old classmate of my husband's from elementary school. After catching up on old times, we got to the heart of the matter. Michael nodded repeatedly and listened intently as we explained everything. And then, "There's no official contract yet, so no worries. Besides, the land and the money are yours, so you should do as you please," he suggested. My husband and I were surprisingly relieved by this proposal. That's right, the land and the money are ours. We can use this money to build something ideal for us. With that decision, things moved quickly. Michael sketched a simple design and showed it to us. The blueprint included everything my husband and I wanted, finally shining a light in front of us. After their European trip, John and Emma returned, hiding the trip from us, so of course, no souvenirs. "Did you transfer the down payment? No more withholding just because you don't like it. We're all adults here." Emma often called us about the money, but never bothered to visit the construction site, probably because it was a hassle. "I'm busy with work, so please provide something nice for the workers, and don't be stingy. Emma doesn't have a job." I couldn't help but marvel at her ability to lie so blatantly. Apparently, the initial $50,000 we gave her wasn't completely spent on the European trip. They continued to splurge on domestic trips. Emma's parents joined every trip. And seeing John completely assimilated into their family, gallivanting around, was disheartening. However, my husband and I were thrilled with the construction of our ideal building. We were incredibly grateful that everything was left in our hands once the construction started. A few months later, the result wasn't a duplex, but an apartment with 8 studios. Yes, we cancelled the duplex contract and instead built an apartment building for singles. At our own expense. John, Emma, and her parents, who hadn't shown their faces until now, were speechless at the sight of the building. "What's going on? Where's the duplex?" Emma trembled with rage. Her parents were furious too. "Why an apartment building? We can't live here as a family. Do you think you're allowed to do this? This is insane." I confronted them with undeniable logic. "The land is mine. The money is ours. What exactly is your complaint?" We are the ones filled with questions. And about the $60,000 for the house, where did the $50,000 go? That doesn't seem sane to me. Emma flinched. Feeling uncomfortable, she nudged John. He stepped forward. To do this to your family, I'm disappointed. We're cutting ties now. You sure about this? They probably expected us to beg. The shame of having a son who threatens his own parents was deeply disappointing. Yay, go ahead, we can't stand it anymore either. Don't ever show your face here again. John's face went pale. Don't be serious, it's just a joke, right? My husband and I completely ignored the flustered John. With John proving useless, Emma finally spoke up. Our current apartment's lease expires this month. We need to find a place, so lend us some money. Didn't you hear? We've cut ties, no more help from us. That's too much. John quit his job to move here, and we have no savings. Where are we supposed to go? Go live at your parents' house. That's when we heard an interesting fact. Emma's parents were about to be evicted from their rental property due to reconstruction, needing to vacate by the end of the month. Both houses disappearing in the same month was unexpected, making my husband and me inadvertently smile. So, want to live in this apartment? Oh, sorry, it's fully booked already. The apartment we built is in a prime location, just a 5-minute walk from the station. Moreover, the train station nearby has many colleges and vocational schools, attracting students who signed leases before the apartments were even finished. Today marked the completion, and tenants will start moving in from tomorrow. You received $50,000 from us, so you must have some left. Use that to find a new place. With that, my husband and I turned our backs on the four of them. John, you need to speak up more. You're the only one who can convince your parents. That's right. Who do you think has been feeding you all this time? Show some gratitude. Hurry up, you love your wife, don't you? Do it for the woman you love. Though John was cornered by Emma and her parents, we neither turned back nor stopped. Later, John came to our house alone, bowing deeply to apologize. I'm really sorry for saying we should cut ties. You're all I have, Mom and Dad. I was just cold because I felt obliged to keep my in-laws happy. We haven't forgotten the words he said when we were hesitant to help, nor his irritated demeanor at that time. Such attitudes can only come from someone who doesn't mind losing their parents' trust. We couldn't sympathize with his belated excuses. I let John say all he wanted until he was done, then told him to leave. How can you do this to your only son? Don't you have any heart or tears? Have you ever worried about us since you got married? About the duplex? Wouldn't you normally disagree if you considered us? Pointing out how he always sided with his in-laws, John had nothing more to say. We declared, no more showing up. No more asking for money. No more updates. In short, stay out of our lives. After the declaration, John left with his shoulders slumped. A year later, our apartment business is thriving. Though we feel like we're in our golden years, my husband has taken to property management and wants to keep expanding within our means. We haven't heard from John since that day. Recently, while shopping in the next town over, we saw Emma cashiering at a supermarket. Her appearance much changed, and her wedding ring missing. From a chat with one of John's middle school friends' moms, we learned that John had divorced Emma, groveled for his old job back, and now lives in a bachelor's dorm, working. Apparently, Emma used to pester him for money, but the once docile John finally exploded, and she hasn't approached him since. The divorced Emma moved into what's probably the oldest apartment in the area, juggling jobs at a supermarket and a convenience store. Her mother is doing piecework at home. We heard through the grapevine that Emma's father, Charlie, is somehow making ends meet as a day laborer guard. My husband and I feel incredibly content living a peaceful life now, especially after the tumultuous duplex incident. Our serene retirement days have been enriched by owning the apartment, ensuring our wallets are always well fed. As someone who loves cleanliness, I make sure not to skip the weekly cleaning of the apartment. Keeping it spotless means that when someone moves out, a new tenant is quick to move in. It feels so satisfying to maintain the exterior's cleanliness. Though we regretted handing over $50,000 in cash at the time, considering it a severance fee to cut ties with that selfish Emma. And her parents makes it feel like money well spent. Grateful for these quiet days, I plan to fully enjoy the rest of our lives with my husband. Even if John shows up saying, "Please forgive me," I'm confident I can firmly turn him away. I don't want anyone disturbing this happiness anymore.